Do not let your hearts be troubled. This extraordinary speech comes from Jesus just after he has washed the disciples' feet and eaten his last supper with them the night before he's killed. Judas has left the room. The disciples and Jesus are still sat or inclined at the table. The disciples have clearly been moved, but perhaps they've also been disturbed by Jesus' words and actions that evening. They're getting glimpses of the future, but it's not at all clear. And then Jesus says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." Today, we find ourselves still in the Easter season, still living and walking and remembering the stories of the resurrected Jesus. I always find it strange when, on this Sunday, we are forced back into the night before his horrific death. I don't want to go there again, not just yet. But to go there we do each year, 5 Sundays from the start of Easter, because hindsight is a wonderful thing. I wonder how hindsight might have helped the disciples as they looked back on this evening. Jesus had invited them to not let their hearts be troubled. Their hearts had been troubled though, and they were to see some terrible things over the next 2 days. But hope came. And now Jesus invites them again as they look back to that night and wonder again what will happen next. There is still so much uncertainty. How long will they have Jesus with them? If they look back to this speech, they will remember that he hints that he will leave them again to go to his Father's house. Ascension Day is coming, though they don't really know it yet. So there is still much to be troubled about. Yet, the invitation remains. Do not let your hearts be troubled. When Jesus ascends, they will find themselves in a locked room, frightened and deeply troubled again. But again, hope will come, and the invitation remains. Do not let your hearts be troubled. In fact, the invitation comes again and again to the disciples and to us without judgment or urgency or insistency. The invitation doesn't promise a happy ending, but it does promise hope. It is, after all, an invitation. We want more details, perhaps, the disciples shout. What next? Where are we going? Jesus says, "Look at me. I am the way. Just keep looking." We want more, say the disciples. Satisfy us with more answers, says Philip. Jesus says, "I am the way. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Look at me and you will know God," says Jesus. This passage, in fact, is not about others, it's about ourselves and how we choose to relate to God. We may shout questions at God, we implore, we want answers. And God gently turns the question back onto ourselves. This isn't about other people. This is about you and me. Do not let your hearts be troubled. I am the way. When you look at me, you can see God, says Jesus. We do not need to know everything before choosing to look for God. We do not need to have explored the depths of our souls or wrestled with every detail of doctrine. We are invited to trust as much as we know of ourselves, to as much as we know of God. Despite our attempts to deflect and divert, the invitation remains for each of us. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Look at me. As I've spoken, I've shown images of Jesus, images that I have found inviting in the past. I wonder if you have been drawn to one. It may be that an image doesn't work for you, that you need to look at Jesus in the depths of your own imagination or in the abstract of colour or creation perhaps. But do look. In these troubled times, hear the gentle invitation again. Dare to look, to notice the way, even when there is no clear path ahead. So may you dare to look at Jesus this week and see God. May you hear the gentle invitation to step away from the questions around others and to look within. May you respond with trust and boldness, daring greatly. And do not let your hearts be troubled. Amen.